I'm sorry, this is a second attempt. Apparently YouTube dropped my first video. So we're going to go over this again. Second time for me, first time for you. I'm going to just ask some quick questions concerning the 7 different regions that we've studied in Chapter 3, just as kind of a review for you if nobody's at home to help you out with it, or if everybody's busy or you have other things going on. This is just a good chance for you to sit down and have somebody ask you some questions. So here we go. Name for me the 3 tribes we studied that go with the Plateau region. Hit pause, give you time to answer it. Okay, now that you're back, you should have said Nez Perce, Spokane, and Yakima. Okay, what kind of home would you have lived in if you were in the Plateau region? Okay, you should have said the underground homes. What kind of roof did they have? Very good. They had the mats, the grass mats. They had a lot of grass available to them in the plateau, so they used it for one other thing. What did they use the grass for? If you said they used it to weave their clothing, very good. Remember, hit pause after each question to give yourself time to answer it before I give you the answer, okay? My answer is just the check. Okay, what is a camas root? Very good. If you said the camas root is the food that they were using the digging stick for in order to survive, it was a food source. Very good. That's right. All right. Which region would I have found the Tlingit, Kwakiutl, and Chinook in? If you said Northwest Coastal, that is correct. Very good. What was a totem pole? All right. Remember, a totem pole is a large pole put in front of a home. It's carved with animals, humans, and spirits, and it's there to represent a family and its social position, because we do know the Northwest Coastal were very worried about social positions in the tribe. That's why they had the big potlatch dinners. What did they call their homes in the Northwest Coastal region? Plank houses. Very good. They were 20 to 200 feet long, and they were made out of planks of wood cut out of the cedar trees. And it's kind of interesting. What did they make their clothing out of? If you said the inside of the cedar bark, they made a thread to make their clothing. It was waterproof. Very good. What was their main source of food in the Northwest Coastal region? Yeah, salmon, definitely. Salmon was definitely a big food for them. They would smoke it, they would dry it, and we even read somewhere that they had 1,000 pounds per family every year. That's a lot of fish. All right. If I am Shoshone, Paiute, Miwok, or Pomo, what region am I in? If you said California Intermountain, you are correct. All right. Which of the following is the home you would find in the California Intermountain region? Would that be a wigwam, a plank house, a pueblo, or an inverted ice cream shaped, cone shaped home made of redwood bark? If you said the inverted ice cream cone shaped home covered with redwood bark, you would be correct. Remember, they were like small teepees, but instead of having buffalo hides, they had this redwood bark, because they had so much redwood in California at that time, these large trees. What did they use the clamshells for? Decorating, right. They would make necklaces, they would make beads out of it to wear. They would put them on their grass baskets that they made to store things. If I live in an apartment-style home, 4 to 5 stories tall, made out of adobe, which region am I in? Right, the Southwest, of course. We've spent a lot of time there. What are the 2 tribes we talked about in the Southwest? Very good, the Hopi and the Apache. So the Hopi and the Apache, especially the Hopi, were known for building these pueblos. What else were they known for growing that they could make their clothing out of? Right, cotton. Very good. That was strange that they could grow these crops out in the desert. Remember, they brought water to them by digging ditches and building what they were called cisterns that would hold the water. What did they use the clay pots for? Also storing that water. Very good. Name for me 4 tribes from the Great Plains. Cheyenne, Pawnee, Comanche, and Sioux. Very good. What kind of home did they live in? Did they live in wigwams, chickees, plank houses, or teepees? Very good. Of course they were teepees. What were the teepees made out of? Right, buffalo hides, because there were so many buffalo out in the Great Plains. What else did they make out of buffalo hides? Good. Yep, they made their clothing. They made the buffalo hide blankets they would wear. What else? Their miscellaneous object. They would make their buffalo hide shields. Remember, those were used. They would paint them up, and then they would use them to protect themselves from spears and arrows. You wouldn't think about that protecting them, but it does. Okay. Which of the regions had 2 nations that we focused on? Right, the Eastern Woodland. You've spent a lot of time with one of the nations, the Algonquin. Then we said the other nation was the Iroquois. What were the 4 tribes we talked about? Hit pause. Good. The Mohawk, the Seneca, the Mohegan, and the Delaware. Very good. Well, we focused on the Algonquin as far as the artifacts. What kind of home did the Algonquin live in? Right, dome-shaped homes called wigwams. The Iroquois, remember we said, were kind of a conglomeration of a wigwam meets a longhouse or a plank house. They were like long wigwams that many families would live in. Besides the deerskin clothing, what would the men wear for ceremonies? Yeah, lots of turkeys. Those turkey feather capes were very popular for special occasions. All right, what's special about their canoes? Right, the Algonquin built the birch bark canoes. They were light, durable, would last a long time, and the big thing was they were extremely fast. They could be used for trading, going up and down rivers. That was an Algonquin. Remember, we said the Iroquois built a much heavier Iroquois canoe that was carved out rather than made out of birch bark. Okay, our last region. What were the 3 tribes we talked about in the southeast region? Good. The Choctaw, the Creek, and the Seminole. Very good. The Chickees, of course, we know were the wooden platforms built 3 feet above the ground. What was the reasoning for building their homes so far above the ground? We talked about this. Right. Animals and, of course, the weather. They do live down in swampland where there are a lot of hurricanes. So it's good to be up off the ground. Were they open homes or closed? Open. Good. Because it was so hot out. Don't forget to hit pause between each of these. Why did they wear the deerskin leggings? Right. Mosquitoes and sawgrass. You didn't want to get chewed up by either of those. And of course, to get around in the shallow floodwaters, right, they use flat bottom canoes. Okay, don't forget to read from your book, and don't forget to go over the key terms in the outer part, but hopefully this little review will help you out. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good evening.